Fox News alert, a critical hearing is just about to get started on Capitol Hill. The Congressional Super Committee trying to come up with a deal to slash more than $1 trillion in spending before a Friday deadline that was set by the Congressional Budget Office. With the committee looking stalled, should President Obama be getting more involved? Joining me now, Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio talk show host and Fox News contributor, and Lars Larson, also a syndicated radio host. All right, panel, so now they basically have until Friday to come up with a deal, and they have to cut $1.2 trillion, or we're going to see mandatory spending cuts in this country of $600 billion to defense spending and $600 billion to unspecified domestic spending, so the stakes are high on both sides. They have not been able to reach a deal. And the question today is, should President Obama not be flying overseas, be staying here to get this deal done by Friday? Because if it doesn't get done, they're saying that the markets are going to tank even further than they have been. We're going to have more instability. Lars, you first.
With any other president, I'd say, yeah, the president should get involved. But this guy has shown himself to be such a non-leader. I'm not sure that he'd do them much good. And frankly, the bunch that's on that committee, at least the Democrats, you think they're going to come up with spending cuts? They've come up with new spending while they've been on the committee. It's pretty shameful.
They came up with spending cuts, though, Lars. They submitted. Well, yes. These are the super committee men, but they came up with a grand bargain of $3 trillion in deficit reduction. These are the Democrats I'm talking about. It had $1.3 trillion in tax hikes on wealthier households, and they had cuts to federal programs, including Medicare and Medicaid. The Republicans rejected
Theoretical.
it. What do you mean, theoretical?
Right,
because Lars, and not only is she right, come on, you guys have pledged your loyalty to Grover Norquist and not the American people. What the Democrats are doing here is saying, listen, guys, we're begrudgingly doing this, but this is what the American people want. And this is what the president says. The president said, if you don't give me a balanced approach, forget about it. And the American people have shown poll after poll that they want a balanced approach. It's the only way anything's going to get done. You know what's really sad here is the American people are going to be punished for the politicizing specifically by the Republicans in this instance, Lars.
Go ahead, Lars.
They're going to be punished by not raising taxes. The American people don't want taxes raised in the middle of a bad economy. It'll crush the economy further. What we need is straight-ahead tax cuts and a balanced budget amendment now.
Would you rather, Lars, would you rather see this $1.2 trillion of automatic cuts, including $600 billion cuts to defense, than see some taxes go up for some Americans?
No, but you presented a Hobson's choice.
Well, but that's what we're down to. That's what we're down to, Lars. Because if they don't, because you guys agree with me. If they don't reach a deal, this is going to happen. These cuts.
Exactly.
Yes, I agree with you, and I have to say, Megan,
go ahead, Leslie.
I told you so, and I don't mean you, Megan. I'm just saying to the American people, I didn't think that this would work. I didn't think the two sides could reach an agreement, and I'm sorry, Lars, because the Republicans, to me, in my opinion, look back when the Democrats, the president said, "Hey, here's over $4 trillion in cuts," and they said, "No, let's fight about it," and ended up with a deal where you get about 50%. Come on, the bottom line here is you have to care about what's going to happen to the economy and the American people, and you have to compromise. The American people have said we want balance and we want compromise. If we listen to the Republicans right now, Lars, and you say the tax hikes that the Democrats want are going to screw the American people, you're talking about Medicare recipients, beneficiaries having to pay more in a bad economy when they can't pay now the premiums that they have, many of them.
But to be fair,
Lars,
to be fair, the Republicans also offered a plan, which was a $2.2 trillion proposal that does not have new taxes, but has a lot of cuts. They've got cuts in taxes and they've got cuts in spending, deep cuts in spending. The Democrats called it a joke. Now we get reports, Lars, that there is a group of 6. We had the gang of 14 when they were talking about judicial confirmations. Now we got the gang of 6. 6 members of the 12-member committee. You need 7 to get a deal, FYI. 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats who are reportedly, according to Reuters, out on their own and are trying to strike a deal that would include some increase in revenues. That doesn't necessarily mean tax hikes, but perhaps closing of tax loopholes. Is that where you think this winds up, Lars?
I think that's where it does wind up, because the draconian cuts, I agree with you, Leslie. It's a bad idea to simply have the automatic cuts roll through. Automatic across the board cuts never make sense. No family budgets that way. And the fact is, though, this economy can't take more tax increases. We need government to cut back. And that's not just being a knee jerk. It's saying this is the sensible solution. Why do you think that Herman Cain's plan on taxes and Perry's flat tax proposal have been so popular? Why has the Tea Party been so popular? The American people are not begging for more government. We've had more government under this president. It hasn't worked.
Leslie,
and government stimulus doesn't work.
I'll give you the last word on whether President Obama needs to stay domestic this week and shepherd this thing through.
I actually no,
Leslie?
and not that I'm still going to faint that Lars and I agree on something today, but not that I agree for the reasons that Lars. I just feel that the president has his job to do. This committee has their job to do, and even though I didn't agree with the committee, it is in their hands. The fate of the American people is in their hands, and quite frankly, that's what they were elected to do. That is their job. He's not supposed to be their babysitter.
They are.
He's
running out of time.
commander-in-chief.
They are running out of time.
You agree he's a bad leader?
We'll see what that gang of 6 does. They need 7. No. So, once they get, that 6, we'll see if they can persuade another one over. All right, Lars, Leslie, we'll be watching it. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.